All right, it says I'm live. Give me a second to make sure. My computer is still saying waiting for Datislav Aktman Care. And there we go. There we go. Yes, I know I'm live now. Good afternoon. It is 16 June 2022. I do this every other week. Open open Q&A, although I would prefer to try to keep somewhat on topic, guys. You know who you are. You know who you are. Bill, I saw you out there, over an hour ago. And Squatch, I saw you walk in. Aren't you supposed to be somewhere, Squatch? And Claudio, if you're out there, hi. Okay. Well, this morning was supposed to be about, it was supposed to be an interview with a guest. Last I heard, he was not going to be able to make the afternoon either. So I'm kind of opening up. Oops, damn it. I'm actually running both the phone and the laptop Saturday. Okay, Squatch. Who am I to argue? Except I'm confused. But that's okay. I'm going to take one last check and see if he was able to get back to me after all. Nothing here. Just one comment that I'm not going to pay any attention to because I already know what it was, which is a shame. And yeah, it's not going to make it. This morning I did go off on a bit of a tangent about my religious views. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Oh. Sorry, guys. I just made some instant lemonade. Haha. This is one of those days you really, really hate when you're on this side of the camera. Okay. I did talk about not exemptions, but or restrictions, but rather the red flag law that is Hi Gulch, the red flag law that's built into mandatory carry into Datislav. Now, I know red flag laws are a trigger word in the 2A community. You know, we kind of got to get past it. We kind of got to accept that it's something that is actually needed to some degree, and that it's unpopular because the way they've been built is just totally unacceptable. In New York, anybody can make a complaint and it's accepted as factual and truthful. And accusation is proof of guilt. That's not the way our justice system works. It's not the way it was ever supposed to work. I don't know who thought that was a great idea. Well, let me give you an idea of how bad this idea is. I have two ex-wives. They live in two different states. Under the idea that New York law was built with, I could report either one of them. Now, I happen to know that one of my two ex-wives has a gun. I could literally call up that state and say, hey, my ex-wife has made comments online that are very, very disturbing and upsetting. As a matter of fact, the very post where she announced that she had this gun, this supposedly new gun, she just happens to have a little 9mm. I just happen to have lost my 9mm, the same one that Brent made the copy of the barrel from. Yeah, that one. Very historic value now in the divorce. How coincidental. And she's made very, very disturbing comments about how she's prepared to protect herself after years of being an anti-gun type. I think she's planning something. They would have to go down there and take her guns. That's how easy to abuse it really is. Now what? We love you, Susan. Bill points out that red flag laws are misused to red flag people for their political beliefs. I really thought about that kind of thing. In my case, it's pure spite. In my first ex-wife's case, it's actually her mental illness at work. In my second ex-wife's case, it's also for spite. She could do the same thing to me. Excuse me. And yes, she did. Right, where was I going with that? Your neighbor who doesn't like you could red flag you, saying, Caucasian Sasquatch. He doesn't. He's not normal. He's a very abnormal individual, and I really think he's planning on something. That's how they are abused. I was supposed to do restrictions this week, but I decided to skip it because last Sunday, while I was watching Locked and Loaded, I realized, you know what? The way it was written was not good enough. Yes, it has a requirement for a jury, but that's just not good enough. But not good enough for me anyway. So I went back and I rewrote it to allow that the judge can overrule a jury if the jury agrees with the contestation with the claim. So I go into Squatch's sheriff's office and say, hey, he's made very upsetting and concerning comments, and I really think you need to go down there and have a very long talk with him. Okay, well, that's great. But that's not the way it works. The judge or the sheriff's deputy will actually tell me you need to apply through the court or through the district attorney's office. And then I will have to actually go into the courtroom, show the court what it is that has me so concerned. And the jury will then have to agree that, yes, he's made statements that are very upsetting to us as well. He's talked about living on an island in a swamp around a sunken container. Okay, that's probably not going to cut it. And then they agree that, but they agree, yes, okay, there's something here, we need to go down and do something. The judge can then turn around and say, just because you're weird doesn't qualify as a threat to society, I'm overruling the jury here. Mr. Squatch, go home. Mr. Carey, come here. Especially you, of all people, doing something like this is extremely irregular. Um, okay. Um, hold up. Okay. That's the changes I made, and I wanted to announce it right away and get it out there that yes, it has changed. The judge can overrule that. All right. Violence is life. Brought up. No, the Brady Act, it's supposed to keep domestic abusers from having firearms. Believe it or not, that doesn't appear in Dataslav anywhere. Okay. Well, why not? And bear in mind, I believe domestic abusers shouldn't have weapons of any sort. Brent had been a prison guard. He knew what happened. He was surrounded by people who'd killed their wives, boyfriends, lovers, husbands. Um, one had killed her entire family and tried to kill herself and failed. And that's why she was doing life without possibility of parole. Um, Fixed Bayonets agreed that yes, domestic abusers shouldn't be allowed to have guns. Hi, Macy. And yet, this doesn't appear in Dataslav. Why? Because none of the three of us could even begin to agree to a framework towards understanding when a domestic abuser should be denied their gun, their mandatory carry status. They should be given an exemption. We couldn't even figure out a framework to get there. We could not survey the road, as it were. So how the hell were we going to build it? Brent was of the opinion that the way the law was already written was good enough. That if the police come out and there is any injury, including complaint of pain or observable injury by the officer, that was good enough. Wait a second. Hold up. If he fucked her up that badly, and I'm just going to go there. If he fucked her up that badly, why is he not sitting in county jail anyway? Oh, Fixed Bayonets was a little more pointed about it, that the police will always, in a female male domestic violence case, arrest the male. Even if they're arresting both of them. If there's a male and a female, and this is a domestic violence call, he's going to jail no matter what. That's it. That's the way it is. Well, both of us conceded that yes, that is the truth. And 9 times out of 10, that's what happened. And then the 1 time out of 10 where she was the abuser and Haiba, he didn't even hit her with intent. He was trying to take the frying pan out of her hands, and that's when he gave her the black eye because the frying pan itself hit her. Now he goes to jail because she's got the black eye. How do we sort this out? Well, we didn't. That was the decision we collectively made. We were not going to sort this out. He can go sit in jail for a couple days, a couple hours, whatever. And then you can proceed forward with a mandatory exemption. That's part of the reason why unwilling was included. Even though it's a misdemeanor domestic violence case, he's unwilling to file for his own exemption. Okay, somebody's got to file for him. Okay. Macy, when you see the rerun, hi. I want to highlight this one. My violence is life. And this is not the first time she said this either. Weird thing happened to me. I passed a background check for a gun, but not for one for selling insurance. One of these days, actually, I want to get you in here and talk about that. That is but different standards for different things. Sorry. Okay. Moving right along. If the three of us, even though we were united as the answer was 4 this time, how the hell are we going to agree? If we can't even agree if it's 2 plus 2, 2 times 2, or 3 plus 1, then how the hell do we get to 4? We all know it's 4, but how did we get there? We just agreed we would leave it alone. All right. Something else I discussed. Jesus Christ. What did I discuss? Oh, little teaser for the channel. I'm going to be comparing roundabouts and Norman doors to gun control here. I plan on recording it this Saturday or maybe a week from this Saturday. I'm actually going to Papa Carey's, not this week, but next week, to help him with a project related to the well. Basically, we've got to rebuild the well that we built last year because something went wrong and we don't know what. Correction, I know exactly what went wrong. We put in an agricultural well because that's all it was for, and that groundwater level has disappeared, so we've got to do something else. And if any of you know how to help us fix this problem, I'd be very grateful to hear from you. But in the meantime, where was I going with this? Oh. Reading installed its first roundabout, and I can't wait to see how big of a shit show it really is. I talked a couple months ago about how my family set a camera up on top of a hill over a merge lane to observe traffic merging in that lane because we don't really know who is at fault, but we do know what the common practice was. I don't know who was really at fault, but I do know what the common practice was and the uncontested claims about what happened there. So now, apparently it's in that same general area. I'm going to be setting a camera up on a tripod to observe the roundabout and see how many near misses occur in, let's just say 2 hours of having that camera set up. I can guarantee you there's going to be at least 5. My understanding is right. Why I won't be able to put it up on top of a hill that's wrong side of the river. But it's going to be a fucking awesome. I might even catch the roundabout's first fatal accident on camera. Alpine, I wish I could help you. Love you, Susan. Alpine, I wish I could help you, but since I don't know what the nature of your problem is, I couldn't even give you a lead on how to try to solve that. Go ahead and ask questions, guys. That's what this is for. Ask preferably relevant. Oh, I forgot to send Sam a link. Damn. And here I just got on his case about the same thing. In the meantime, under the category of judge not lest ye be judged yourself. Share a screen. Okay. So I got this from a social media account. This is Blair White. Happy Corporate Pandering Month. Hashtag Pride. And it's a list of, what is this? Well, this is only 5 companies that have added rainbows to their to their icon for the month. Listen, I don't give a shit about Pride Month in general. To be perfectly blunt, it's nothing to do with me. You want to see my pride flag? You don't want to see my pride flag? I'll do it. I swear to fucking God, I will do it. And I did 30 days in fascist book prison 2 years ago for it. But moving right along, the individual who put this up then has a 45-minute rant about how evil and awful Blair White is for being a groomer because of this. Judge not, lest ye be judged yourself. This guy chose to judge Blair for calling it corporate pandering and calling Blair a groomer when I know that she's as far away from a groomer as you can get, right? She's exposed groomers. She's exposed pedophiles. She still has an ongoing war with Onison, and he might actually have been innocent. To be fair, there's a lot of people that fucking hate Onison's guts, and I'm on that list. I'm not going to get into the other one, but there is one individual whose hatred of Onison is beyond rationality. And Blair hates his guts too. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm going to back up the chat just a little bit because you guys got ahead of me. You want to judge Blair, motherfucker? Look in the mirror. That's a whole lot worse. Okay. All right. Boa, unwell water sounds bad. I think that was meant as a joke, guys. Why can't you love roundabouts, and why can't people use them? Because they're dangerous. Right? I lived through the Sacramento traffic calming project where within 6 months they had 50% more traffic accidents. I think I said fatal, and that's not correct. Just 50% more accidents within 6 months of installing them than they'd had in the previous year. And it never actually went down. Not until they ripped the traffic calming project out, anyways. Some people, same answer to most questions. People are, it's not just dumb, right? It's only worked one time. It's the Paris roundabout, and I can't remember the name of the location. And even then, they have accidents all the damn time. And that one's as wide as a freeway. What in history has happened to teach us about these school shootings? It's an interesting question. I'm not sure quite how Alpine meant this, but what in history has happened to teach us about these school shootings? Well, I could say students and staff formed a security zone around the school after a school shooting was threatened. It's partially true. We've never actually had a school shooting successfully stopped by armed staff because there's never been armed staff to success. Oh, wait, yes, there has. I wish I'd known this was coming before I would have looked it up. Assistant principal stops shooting. I should have been looking this up anyways. Oh, you know what? No, I'm just gonna show this one as is. Of course, Snopes will tell us, well, that's fake news, but Snopes lies. I don't even need to go all in. Joel Myrick, the school's assistant principal, Joel Myrick, retrieved a .45 caliber semi-automatic pistol from his truck and, spotting Woodham, attempted to flee the parking lot after the shooting, shouted for him to stop. What they're not telling you here is that the kid knew the vice principal was going for his gun. That's why he was fleeing. Now here's something. I don't know what this is. We're going to find out together. I'm going to Okay, so this is not what I thought it was. So that's something that history can show us. What else can history show us? How about what happened when there was no other gun present? You know where this is going, guys. Right there. The Columbine High School Massacre was a school shooting and attempted bombing that occurred 20 April 1999, Columbine High School in Columbine, Colorado, United States. 2 students, something like 5 guns, I think it was. They also had something like 10 improvised bombs that failed to detonate. That's what happens when schools are completely disarmed. It's not the last case either. It's one that is repeated several times. Most recently, because the school security, the school's resource officer, happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time to stop it before it happened, and one door happened to be not locked. He got in, he got through another door that he was able to lock behind him. Now the cops can't do anything. They were there within 2 minutes, but he's behind a locked door and they can't get that door open. I would have gotten that door open. Well, I would have gotten into the classroom rather. Don't ask me how, because I would be going to prison for what I did, but better than burning in hell for not doing anything. Okay. Okay. Shit. The chat jumped, guys. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that your roundabouts work. Okay, here we go. Boa says, history, you mean like all those mass shootings during the 1950s and 60s when after school gun clubs were a thing and students kept their rifles in their lockers? That never happened. Oh, yeah, that one. That's not quite what I thought he was going, but good enough. By the way, schools used to have shooting clubs. It was not a requirement, but like 90% of them did. Well, I was not thinking a Hammerville, but okay. Boa says, security should be able to open any door. They couldn't. They could not get this door open. There's a couple of things going on here that we're not exactly sure what happened. But we know that the cops kicked at the door, and that may have done something to the locking mechanism. They eventually did get a key and went in, but they may have had the wrong key. Like I said, we don't know exactly. And by the way, Failure to Stop podcast did an awesome breakdown on this. You really should go see it. The myth of the 45 minutes is just that. It's a myth. Boa also points out Boa says fire department should have been able to get through the door in seconds. No, would have been able to get through the door in seconds with a lot of damage to the building. But they're 20 minutes away, or they're 10 minutes away. All right. They were trying to get this door open now, and it wasn't working. And that is absolutely unfortunate. There's a lot about Uvalde that when everything is said and done, people are going to have a lot of very uncomfortable questions to answer that that will be getting answered. And by the way, you'll know who manufactured the door that failed to close properly by watching the stock market. All of the security fire door companies, their stocks are going to go down a little bit. You watch, see who goes down the hardest. At least 100, 100% more than the rest. That's the company that manufactured that door. Uh, uh, Boa says, "Did you hear the kid locked himself in a secured closet and fired through walls?" Vaguely. Exactly what he actually did, though, is still not clear because the facts aren't out. We don't know. We don't know, and I'm not sure the people who were there know exactly either. Um, I think Alpine Gulch knows where I'm going about getting into that classroom. Um, One way or the other, it was going to end. Um, the way I would have gotten into that classroom would have been as dangerous to the students as the gunman. Uh, I'm not. That doesn't bother me. That does not bother me. What bothers me is not doing anything to get in there. An alternative that I had considered is if you could drive a forklift through the school, maybe you can, maybe you can't, use the forklift to physically rip the entire door assembly. Just punch it through the door, lift it up. You're doing a couple $100,000 of damage to the building, and that door is open. There's also going to be some other protocol changes about school security related to this incident. I can't predict what they all will be. I don't know yet. But they're not going to allow that to happen again easily. Here's something else that should have been: why were the staff not armed? Think about it like this. You trust this person is clearly trustworthy enough to have small children or children in general in their custody for 8 hours a day, right? They're clearly, their brains work properly. They're capable of being trusted this way. And yet you can't trust them with a gun. What? The maturity level needed to have kids. There's a reason I can't be a school instructor. I don't have that calm, in case you haven't noticed. I'm not calm enough to be a school instructor. And some people will call it maturity or whatever. I don't care. I really don't give a fuck. If you can't trust them, if you can trust them to be around kids for 8 hours a day, why can't you trust them with a gun? It doesn't make sense. That does not add up. Uh, yeah, Bernie, dude, okay. Dude, I don't want to burst your bubble, but I've worked for a company that bids on building projects. Guess what? Or as Pop Up Carrie would put it, when it malfunctions, your low bid rifle becomes a high priced club. Um, Boa is pointing out the Norman doors is a thing. Uh, wow, Bill, that's harsh. They might. Boa is claiming that they're talking. Oh, love you, Susan. Boa is claiming that they're talking about demolishing the school. They might. They will probably repurpose it until something else happens that they can deal with. Oh. Do you want libs of TikTok stars being armed? Truth of the matter is, maybe. I know the libs of TikTok are a bunch of fucking weirdos. I'm a fucking weirdo. Judge not, lest you be judged yourself. This is a line I'm not quite prepared to cross. And some of them clearly, no. Like, the fuck is wrong with that guy? And can you put that list in alphabetical order for us, please? Some of them are just weirdos. Just really fucking weird people. And some of them might qualify for mandatory exemption. Well, obviously some of them would. All right. Yes, Squatch, I saw that Naughty Girls comment. No, Bernie, that may not be correct. We don't actually know what really went wrong yet. Hi, G23. Maybe they could use it as a recovery center for soon-to-be ex-Twitter employees. Hey, hold on to that thought. That might not be a bad idea there, Bo. I'm sorry if I missed anything. Okay. Oh, I know a way to fix that. Ha. Pop out the chat. Okay. Good. Excellent. I'm all caught up again. Since G is here, but he doesn't come in very often, G, you get to ask the next question because God knows I need at least one question, guys. This is called the Q&A. Why is there no Q? Oh, well, that would have helped. But anyway. All right. I'm going to throw something out there for the community, and actually, G and Bernie are part of the 2A community especially, so double on you guys. Most people, well, there's an old saying about the truth does not mind being tested. A lie will not tolerate being questioned. Yeah, I think I got that right. I want to be questioned. I want to be interrogated. I want to be borderline tortured. Go out there, guys, and see if you can find as many 2A supporters, especially the ones that hate the idea of mandatory carry, and get them to come fuck with me as hard as you guys collectively can. I'm looking forward to it. I want this. All right. It's not necessarily because I'm right, but I do know I'm telling the truth. Okay. Violence is Life asked, how do we introduce legislation? Well, seeing as how Datislav is a constitutional amendment, so Bernie, G, as you go back out and try to recruit people to fuck with me, please remind them of that fact. It's a constitutional amendment proposal, so we can skip that question. And we would require 2/3 of the states, which is 32, I think, states ratify a constitutional amendment to to repeal the Second Amendment by replacing it with this mandatory carry concept. Boa asks, any preference between open carry laws or concealed carry permits for all, with due exceptions? No. And Datislav does not address a preference. What it says is open carry for all, no exceptions. No states can make their own special little rules. No. Right? The states can make their own special rules for their concealed carry permits, but they are constrained by basically they're going to have to show why they need this as part of their requirements, and there's certain things they cannot do. They're not allowed, period, black letter. No insurance, no psych exams, none of that. And they have to accept out-of-state concealed carry permits, whether they want to or not. Oh, G asked me a question. I missed it. You're right. I did. I'm sorry. If you could make one law that wouldn't be changed, what would it be and why? Ooh. One law that couldn't be changed. Age of consent. Age of consent, age of military enlistment, age of drinking, age of purchasing a firearm. In other words, you are an adult at this age, whatever that age is. I'm even willing to let go of the question of the number, the big number. As of the day you turn that age, you are an adult. You make your adult decisions. And it's because you are an adult. And, oh yeah, by the way, you could not be drafted even 1 minute before you turn that age. Bill is saying it's called age of majority in law. I know I've heard that term. It's been a long time since I had any legal training, guys. Bill also wants to know, should we create a lobbyist group? If I had $1 million, I would. As it is, I can't even get GOA and FPF and NRA and AF to even return my calls. This, despite the fact that GOA and FPF, I reached out to them and said, all I need is a recommendation on an attorney, or if you have the attorneys, I'd like to hire, well, what I actually said was, I'd like to hire you to file this amicus brief with the Supreme Court. They pretend they never got it. GOA, I even called them and said, I'm following up on this letter. Well, we have a lot of cases, and I'm sorry, why didn't you resubmit it? FPF wouldn't even take the damn call. So, no, G, you were okay with the punctuation, with me at least. I just missed that line. I missed the entire line. I even went back, oh shit, there it is. I missed it. And that was my bad. I'll find out. What age are you thinking? I don't know. I legitimately, I don't know. I cannot answer that question instantly. Uh, Boa says 14 for adult fun as long as within 3 years. That's called the Romeo and Juliet law. Oregon has one. Oregon's age of consent for sex is 18, but if you're within 3 years of the age of your partner, let's say you're 18 and she's 15, you're right on the line, you're okay, you're good for now. One of my ex in laws, she was 16, 15 or 16 with her 18-year-old boyfriend. He was that close to going to jail. He missed it by 3 hours. Um, by the way, if you go through later and you're looking through chat, it says 4 for adult. I know he meant 14. All right, so don't give me any shit. 18 to vote, 19-20 to drink, use weed, gamble, watch R-rated movies. North of the border, provincial standards vary. Well, you know what? No, just one number. 14, 21, 28. I'm willing to negotiate on the numbers. Hi, Rob. I see you there. Because I know that I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a biologist. I'm not a medical doctor of any sort. I know I don't necessarily know the answer. Term limits don't help if who replaces them owned by the same people. Oregon and Mississippi apparently both have Romeo and Juliet laws. There's like 6 or 7 states that do, so that doesn't mean anything to me. Rob says, I fell in love with a Philly cheesesteak today. Now I'm depressed. Our relationship is over. But was it good while it lasted? Caucasian Sasquatch wants term limits. Boa says 16, but he's not sure. More difficult for the mafia. I'm not sure what that's about. Bill also says she's an amateur biologist. Okay. See, if a male had said that, it would have meant something very different. Next possibly be good. Rob says, can the next possibly be as good as the last? I'm not sure it's possible. Yes, it's possible. You will find another Philly cheesesteak. Shit. One of these days I'm going to burn in hell for something I said. It's not going to be today, but anyway. Paleontologist. Squatch! I know what kind of paleontology you're looking at. Love you, Susan. Oh, Rob, you're here. Good. I have been wanting for years, like 2 years now, year and a half, round up everybody in the 2A community you know, especially the people that hate me or hate mandatory carry, get together, gang up on me one day, preferably all at the same time. I'm ready. I want this fight. Yeah, I'm old enough to remember that too. Oh. All right, we're coming up pretty close to the end. We got about 10 minutes. What was I going to cover? I'm always open for a guest. Just reach out to me. I actually do. Guys, a few of you know this to be true. It is really hard to be on this side of the camera all by yourself. Squatch would not know. He's never been on this side of the camera by himself. I think Rob and G have. I know Rob has because I saw that one. Phil is shitposting about 12-year-olds being trained on artillery. No, they should not be trained on artillery because the shells are too heavy. Whoa, hold up. Something just happened. Oh! Whoa. Jesus Christ, now it's exploding. Hi, Boa.
Hey, you. Here.
Okay.
Careful what you wish for.
What?
Be careful what you wish for. You may get it.
Yeah, well, I guess. Vil, you're not coming through, and I don't know why. And okay, let's try that again. Be careful what you wish for. And apparently, Vil has a chronic cough, and you're not coming through, Vil. I don't know why. Okay, she's having some trouble with this new phone. We're gonna let her see if she rolls in. All right, Bo, what was on your mind?
Oh, what is on my mind? Seriously, what is gonna more likely happen here? These laws after they get thrown out, because people are having enough of the restrictive gun laws, and I think they already lost that debate. It's going to get more very expensive to buy and very expensive permits to carry it, or more states going to go the open carry route?
I don't know. I do not know. Oh boy. Okay, Gulch, I'm sorry. I will fix that right now. I thought it was pinned. It was pinned this morning.
Yeah, pin the chat. Just go scroll up.
No, I'm just going to go ahead and pin it. I'm going to put it back up, and I'm going to pin it this time. Pin it. Ha. Yeah, it was not pinned before. My bad. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. No, Squatch. 12-year-olds don't get pistols. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know the answer to your question. 25 states, half the country now has constitutional carry in one form or another. That's the only thing I can tell you was that I know shows us the trend. Meanwhile, California, Oregon, Washington, New York, and what was the other state, are trying to restrict them more, and everybody else is telling them to go fuck themselves. So that's the only thing I can tell you. All right, guys. I am trying to balance between the chat and Bill trying to come in and Boa being here.
True.
Rob says you can always join an online dating site if you're really trying to get fucked with. Well, the wrong kind of fucked with, but okay. There is no, but datemefornoguns.com, Ashley Madison, I don't know. Actually, I have an Ashley Madison account. I haven't checked it in years, but DC has 0 gun rights. Actually, that's more than just true. The biggest gun control case in the Supreme Court in the last 50 years was over District of Columbia, and it was a security guard of all things. He was a security guard in his professional life, but he wasn't allowed to have his gun out of the safe while he was at home. And this doesn't make any sense. This just didn't make any sense at all. Stalkers can be fun, especially if you know about it. Otherwise, it's just, yeah. Who would be Bernie wants to know, who would be a candidate that you would vote for in the next presidential election? I have a name. It's somebody you've never heard of, Bernie, and I got to leave it at that. All right. I have my name. I know who I would vote for. And if he's not on the ballot, I guess I'm not voting at all, because what else am I supposed to do? I mean, they're all pretty fucked up at this point.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sorry. I look forward to the day you see Trump Jr. run. Just for the heads exploding. That should be great for the entertainment value, if nothing else. Will there be anything left for the country to save? I don't know at that point, but it should be interesting if nothing else. Get some entertainment value out of it.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of entertainment. I think this presidential election season is going to be it's going to be a shit show on steroids.
What we could ask.
Since you like her.
Do you think the fence sitter? I think you know who I mean. Mr. Beanie there is right. We're facing. U.S. is facing a second civil war.
No, Mr. Beanie has been wrong for the last 2 years. The Civil War started less than a month after Trump was elected at a softball field in Virginia. All right. He's we're not in it yet. We're not in it yet, but we're headed down. Fuck you, you. What the hell is wrong with you? You don't know that there was a shooting at a softball field in Alexandria, Virginia, and what? But you talked about it? The moment bullets started flying, it started. Just because we don't have armies marching in the street doesn't mean we don't have a civil war going on.
By definition. When do you declare World War One? Well, it wasn't called World War One at the time. And when it started, well, when you recognize it started at the time, no. How far after the event do we start realizing, yeah, from which the starting event? Historians figure that out after the fact. Yeah, that event started. You could argue, was it Germany invading Poland started the Second World War? Or was it the fact that Chamberlain tried to appease them and get away with it? Did they stop them when they could have? A year or two beforehand, acted on to stop them. You would have never arisen. We had to have Treaty of Versailles there. Had they not put those ridiculous, horrific punishments on them, then maybe you wouldn't have the issue.
But I got to interrupt you for a second because Bill's connection is not great. Bill, get it off your chest, quick. It's not coming through.
I don't hear nothing. This ain't gonna work.
Oh no, I can hear you barely. We can barely hear you. Come on, Bill.
Okay.
I don't think she can hear us, folks. Yeah.
Must be witness protection.
No, Pedro should not be president. Yeah, Rob, I'm not exactly sure what you were behind about. we will have scratch and sniff ballots next election. So, Bernie, that's not actually the worst idea. That might be a better way of picking a president than this bullshit we have right now.
Arm wrestling contest. Round heels versus Gabbard.
You just said one of my bad words.
Recent improvement over the first. The former being a better option than the latter. You know what I mean? It's not exactly a high standard. That's again what I said about Trump. I didn't say he was a great choice or a wonderful choice. I said he was the least worst option. I still think it's the least worst option. That's not a high bar to go with. I mean, better than the last 5 presidents. Also, not a very high bar to set.
That's not a high bar at all. And
well, I didn't say best. I said least worst.
Least worst, yeah.
I mean, I don't wish for better candidates, or just not to exist at all.
Okay, Bo, I got to interrupt you. Phil, we could barely hear you, and you could not hear us, apparently. Ring its wife Squatch calling. Okay. Well, you need to have your phone adjusted or something there, Squatch. Yeah. If you can hear something while you're shoved up a polar bear's ass, then you need your phone adjusted. We're going to go a little over time today. Rob, have you been looking at my Instagram account? I put something out there. There's this meme. What makes sex not rape consent? What makes buying food not consent, or not robbery consent? Blah, blah. I think there's like 4 of them. What makes taxation not theft? Magical fairy dust. Well, 5 years ago, I took that meme and I put over it voting. Okay. But after the last election, I took the old one and put temporarily suspended across the whole damn thing. I have it on my computer, but I don't want to dig it up right now. Maybe I should make that next week's. There isn't going to be one for next week. Anyway, the week after's thumbnail for the afternoon live stream. How about that? And you know what? You're right. We deserve better than voting for the least worst. But the name I have in mind would not be the least worst. It would actually be a really good option, but is not a multimillionaire and is not going to win ever. Just going to keep the Facebook page up as a way of telling the whole fucking world, yeah, we know what you're doing. And we don't care. Time for the rest of let's not get too carried away there, Bernie. Bo, what else is on your mind?
Just get my mind. Oh, here's a question. Another question, but I don't know if it's a good answer. Okay, people are dumb. Politicians don't even bother to lie anymore about their terrible plans and their goals. When the wannabe Prime Minister of Canada tells you his most admired country is China, he admires a basic dictatorship, and people are dumb enough to vote for him. Okay, you deserve what you get. I get that. My question is the 90s. Why do I have to suffer? I know better than to do this. I warned him about voting for this son of a gun. Why do we have to suffer, right?
because I don't have a legitimate answer there for you. Because we're in the same boat down here. Um, because somebody won an election one way or another. Hi, Apple. I didn't say the word, so go fuck yourself, babe. We need states back, man. Statesman back. Oh, we need statesmen back. Um, yeah, he's
Character
right.
would be nice.
Yeah, hey, don't you go using bad words on my channel. Don't you know? That's a bad word. I'm being facetious. Or borderline sarcastic.
I know that.
A character doesn't matter for anything anymore. It's whether you towed the line.
Difference between weirdos and criminals.
Basically. And a whole country full of slave trading, drug smuggling Satanists. Run by, not full of, run by, who literally inherited the Nazi gold that everybody's been looking for the last 80 years.
Another question. This stuff's gone out of style there. Anybody ever actually confirmed that they actually keeping the snuff boxes on the walls of Congress now?
I'm sorry, you broke up really bad.
Since snuff has long since gone out of fashion.
Okay.
Everybody actually confirm what's being kept in the snuff boxes on the walls of Congress?
Oh. No.
But
I don't know if anybody's ever bothered to look. But if you're referring to cocaine or possibly heroin, it's known that some of until it became illegal, supposedly, until that day, it's known that some of the various members of Congress used cocaine and heroin. And George Washington smoked pot. I said that out loud, guys. George Washington smoked pot.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I know, Rob. I know. Super PACs and giant donations shouldn't be a thing. One person, one vote. The system is screwed. I know. That's the reason why my preferred candidate will never win. He doesn't have a super PAC. Nobody will even talk to him. And yeah. No, Bill. He smoked pot. He was an actual marijuana user. And it was an acceptable thing back then. Right? There's a lot of things back then that were acceptable that aren't today. There's a lot of things that were acceptable then that are again now. Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah, that was proved. But Coca-Cola, everybody knows the 1886 form of Coca-Cola. Yeah, cocaine, cola leaves. Medicinal. Yeah. Würzburg medicinal. There's some great programs, even from British TV. Absolute History. Do some good series there where they have the teams reliving some of these different eras. And one of them there was Victorian era and setting up a shop. One of the shops was set up there, a pharmacy. And that's a lot before decades before, each week is a different decade, up until they actually introduced the laws about what you can and can't put in medicine, what claims you can and can't make. Lots of this
Yeah,
trial and error and homemade stuff, and go for it.
the Pure Food and Drug Act of 19. It was before World War One, but after 1900. And what it said is, if you are labeling a product as rheumatism uh, uh, cure, you got to put on that label everything that's in it, so that people will know this is what's actually what it really is. Because there was a lot of drugs back then, rheumatism cures, um, cold cough syrups, everything that was just laudanum in a saline or syrup solution. They were just selling you drugs.
Yeah.
That's it.
Nowadays,
But you would feel better. Um,
you gotta wonder if it might be just better. I don't know if it's effective or not, but it'd be better just to go back to having the stuff. At least get a prescription from the doctor and take your pill, cocaine pill or heroin pill, whatever the frick. Taking your pill shot there or whatever.
Unfortunately, these were prescriptions, but even doctors didn't know what was in them half the time.
Do something.
No, burning snuff is a form of tobacco. And as snuff went out of favor, it would be replaced with cocaine or heroin or something.
But true tobacco, and that's mostly gone
And
out of style.
yeah, Alpine, of course, ditchweed isn't going to get you high. It's feral pot. That's like expecting a feral cat to be a good cat. Love you, Susan. Wow, Bill, come on. You can't bribe all of the doctors. Yeah, ditchweed guys, don't smoke feral
This
pots.
stuff up here is legal. Recreational is legal to a point. I think you'll have about 2 kilos. You're basically enough just for personal use and nothing much. Just for wheezily abusing the stuff. Enough for a few cigarettes at a time on your person or home. Unless you're going to bother the church.
Squatch. Hemp does not have or has so little THC that you basically have to burn a whole pound of it to get anything, and then mostly you're getting nauseous. Pot has no industrial value. You can't turn it into line. It's not. It's just grown for the THC. Rob, I have smoked pot. I did inhale. I discovered I was allergic. Okay.
I don't judge, but I've never used anything. That's me.
Well,
my acid brain doesn't react well to that kind of stuff anyway, so I'm told.
I'll let you guys in on a secret. I was about to get out of the military the first time, and I was told, I told everybody, I've never smoked pot. Well, I don't believe you. Nobody will believe you. I'm out. I'm on my own again. Okay. I smoked it the one time so that I'd be able to say, yes, I smoked it one time, and that's it. Okay. Well, flash forward about six or 7 months. Trying to get on with SAC PD. I'm told to go to this pre-academy thing. Part of the pre-academy thing was background investigator. I've smoked pot once. I can look this guy in the eye and say, I've smoked pot. Right? I didn't realize I was allergic to it. Okay. There's a lady at this class, and she says, Guy, my friend has a problem. Okay, doctor, my friend has a problem, right? We all know she's talking about herself. My friend has never done drugs in his life, and nobody believes him. Guy says, well, I don't believe him either. They proceeded to argue for like 5 or 10 minutes. And I mean, this lady's really arguing with him. Finally, he stops. He says, okay. I'd like to meet your friend. And she says, well, it's my husband, and he's sitting right here. Holy shit, there really was a friend. After that, we took a little break. I asked him, so seriously, you've never smoked pot in your life? And he said, nope. I've always been in one thing or another that would prevent me from doing that. So I'm going to say, Rob, Boa, I believe the two of you, and nobody else will. I only believe the two of you because I never wanted to. I really never wanted to. I only did it the one time so I could pass a background investigation.
I tell you that, it's no secret. Smoking, I grew up in an era where I had my extended family holidays, my parents' Christmas table. I was smoking at the Christmas table, the Easter table. Oh, that is nasty. You have like 600 adults around the table. I was smoking. Not pop, but just regular cigarettes on the table. Oh, the cloud of that, so
don't
inhaling
smoke
that.
cigarettes at the table either, and no cigars, no pipes.
That's terrible.
Nothing. God, people have
Open
some
beer
basic
from my father was
manners.
around, drinking with his friends. Smell that sickening enough. I tried one mixed drink once. I was over 18. A sip of it. No, thank you. And then I just haven't wanted to. Don't want much control or my health for bothering with it. And then I'm just doing jobs where it wouldn't work for me to do it anyways. And I don't anyway, so what do I care? 10 years in the church. Mormon, as I mentioned. No smoking, no drinking anyway. I don't do it anyways. I didn't drink coffee. Soft drinks, some say yes, some say no. Because the church is varied on that topic. It's not particularly banned.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't allow smoking in my house. And it's not just because it's handed down from Mama and Papa Carrie. It's that I don't like it in the house myself. I smoke outside. All the neighbors know me as the neighborhood watch guy because I smoke outside.
You'll find any ashtrays in my place.
And no, Rob, it wasn't a rash. I just felt like shit. I literally passed out. And this after being 10-year smoker, so that it wasn't that. Oh, damn, I'm out. All right. Quick, throw a couple questions out there, guys, just so that you can say you tried to get one over on me at least. Although Alpine did it.
The emoji is a square.
I'm sorry, what?
That's what the emoji I posted in chat. It's a square.
Yeah.
Don't smoke, don't drink, don't do any fun stuff. You're square.
That's what it's rendering as anyway. Yeah. Squatch has talked about his past a little bit, and I'm not going to pry here. But yeah, he's got a lot he's come back from. Oh, you're answering Alpine Gulch. Okay.
Yeah, you're pushing someone like Dave Mustaine. If there's a drug illegal on his worker, he's been on it and brought back when he died in the operating table, in the emergency room, and battling cancer, successfully. Going on right now, toward Arizona, of course, to start, and then I think they're Finland right now. But then you got it done. They're still alive. After all the stuff they've done and abused, how the heck these guys still alive? That and I said that food eater, Molly Schuyler. You got to believe I believe there is something like a metagene of some sort. explain how people can get away with doing these things, or how a guy could be a pack-a-day smoker and live to see 80.
That will be me. My grandfather, oh Jesus, he made it into his 90s. He was a pack-a-day smoker.
And there's another group that don't smoke. I
And
lost a
he
couple
was a
relatives.
pack-a-day of Lucky Strikes, guys. Yes, of course I eat bacon. Are you crazy? Alpine is bringing up breaking news: American fighters caught in Ukraine. Yeah,
Heard.
that's not even the first. They're not the first. There was a huge camp of, well, there was a British, American, and Canadian camp. All three of them got hit real hard by the Russians. This is 3 weeks after the invasion began, and just got ripped apart. It's believed that somebody jumped on Facebook, and the Russians figured out where this guy was from his Facebook post,
Social media.
which is why when we were getting ready to deploy to Kuwait in 2009, I think it was. One of the things they told us is you leave your phones back home. Okay.
I know that's the biggest pet peeves in the security industry. People on their phones. Hell, you're not supposed to be on there. You get fired for doing that. I think it's losing battle, but yeah. You go kind of security I've seen. The CFL, Canadian Football League, doesn't do it. But we had hosted the exhibition game a couple years ago between LA, still before they moved to Vegas.
Well, I
Green
got to
Bay.
interrupt you for a second.
No phones.
Squatch, get out of here. Dr. Pepper, get out. Okay. Well, go on.
Yeah. I was going to say, our Canadian League doesn't ban cell phones, but guards, everything, turn in your phones to the security tent. They get locked up. No. NFL will not allow anything like that at the games. Nobody's allowed to have a cell phone on them when you're working. They make you turn them over. People are going to be locked and secured before you're allowed to work this exhibition game. That's how tight the NFL is for their staff. So, it's a hint there.
Okay.
And if that's security just for an NFL game, you want to figure what the what's real life death wars are going to be about? Yeah, you don't go on your phones. You don't be taking selfies. The security leaks and that kind of stuff. It's just funny.
And the best part is the Russians learned to do that from their enemies. During not Bosnia, but after Bosnia, before 9/11, they went into some sort of conflict, and snipers' locations got identified by selfies that they had posted online. No, Bill, you cannot get away with that. And it's something to do with metadata on the image itself. So there is a way to destroy the metadata, and I vaguely understand the concept, but I could never repeat it.
I can't remember his name, but you know the "Just Do It" meme guy. You found him just because of flag in the background. You pinpointed the places around the rural states. Yeah, internet news can track you. That's for sure. You give them any kind of information. Lighting, time of day, who knows what.
I'm surprised that all of my personal information isn't everywhere on the internet. Because I do have my actual photos up on the Facebook page. You could track that back to me so easily. Nobody ever has. I don't know why. Of course, the fact that I've been doxxed before probably has something to do with it. I got doxxed on Rational Wiki. At bare minimum, I got doxxed on Rational Wiki, xnxx.com, which is a porn site, and Telegram. You cannot live on citrus, Squatch. That's not how it works. All right, guys, we gone about a half an hour into overtime for afternoon stream. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. 9017 is coming. I know you guys know I believe this, even if you think I'm crazy. So get your get home bag ready. Carry all the time, all day, every day. Not quite. You can shower with your gun off, okay? But keep calm and mandatory carry on. Well, hang on a minute. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, not this shit again. Apparently